Hello, Fearless Gamers, and welcome to another podcast here on Fearless Games. I'm Matt the Vet, and today I am joined by the one, the only, the ever-so-lovely...
Wildcard.
How are you doing?
Not bad. I don't know if you've been to Taco Bell recently.
No, I don't go to Taco Bell.
You fool. No, but they have... you know how the sauce packets said stuff on them? Like hug me or whatever. They used to have little stupid messages on them.
Okay.
They updated it. There's new messages on the stuff now.
Oh snap!
Is
it for this young kids audience now?
No, it's just they updated it. They just changed them. So that's kind of a big deal, and people should go experience it.
Kind of a big deal. Your ketchup packets say different things to you.
Well, they're sauce packets.
Sauce packets.
Yes.
So, have you been keeping up to date in the wonderful world of hobbies?
Depends on what we're talking about.
A couple of things have happened. The first is Games Workshop dropped some free rules for some of their minis on the Black Library website.
Which is good. You know, free is alright.
And free is alright. In this day and age, free is awesome. We got some new Tyranid stuff coming out. We finally got some, drop pod thingies. Yeah, and
it's cool looking, but it made
he's got a problem.
It made me realize why, ultimately, I really am not that big of a fan of the Tyranids in terms of collecting them.
Yeah.
So, the drop... I don't know what to call that thing. The drop pod thing with Bobber.
They call it... let's see, it's either a Spirocryst or a Mokaliid Spore.
There's also the Tyrannocyte.
Yep, the Tyrannocyte, which is their thing that can attack air things.
Yeah. And I like it because that's gross. I'm like, that's perfect for Tyranids, because it should look gross. But their thingamabobbers, whatever you want to call them, the fact that they have, turret guns, like pinto things you would see in a Chimera or something, that's made me think, the thing that I like...
Maybe it ate a rhino.
No, the thing that I like about Tyranids is that they're organic, and the thing I don't like about them is how they have, they're organic weaponry, sure, but it's like, here you go, Termagant, here's a rifle, strap it into your digestive system, you know what I mean? It's instead of it being like a Hydralisk from Zerg where it just spits at you. It's very organic, it's very much like, you could see this as an evolutionary thing, in a way, and I like, that's one of the reasons why I like the Raveners a lot. They look more organic in what they do, and, things that... even when you give, you have the Harpy, it's cool, but it looks like, we got organic guns strapped to the bottom of it. It's, it would be cooler if it looked more like, just, as weird as it sounds, more organic. More like, oh, this is not an evolutionary trait, but this is it's just coming out of its chest, instead of it being here's my arm mutated to a gun. It'd be cool if it's is that a gun? I can't tell, but it shoots out of it. Like a cyst or something.
I see.
But they did a good job with the Tyranid stuff. It's looking good. It's looking good.
I'm more interested in the Dark Vengeance expansion sets.
Yeah.
And what a deal you get with these things.
Now, do we know if they're snap fit or just like what they did with the Space Wolves, where they just put the kit in there?
They don't describe them as snap fits.
Okay.
It says contains 9 Citadel miniatures. Includes, now here's the funny thing. Okay, first it says 1 Ravenwing Dark Talon.
Yeah.
Then it says 3 Ravenwing Black Knights.
Yeah.
But the main picture has the command squad showing.
Yeah, it does.
And then it says 5 Deathwing Knights, and again they show the Terminators, which makes me think that they're just the full kits packaged together.
Oh, they definitely are. I didn't see the picture because obviously the flyer looks like the flyer. I mean, it's just gonna be the full kit. And to be honest, the command squad looks so much cooler for the Ravenwing to show than the Black Knights.
Yeah, And then what's funny is when you go to the individual pictures, it shows them as the Ravenwing Knights and the Deathwing Knights. And if it is the full kits, that's like a $50 savings right there.
If it is, I mean, I don't remember the
Crimson
pricing.
Slaughter pack. When I did the math, and I posted it on the website, on the thingy, not their website, because I'd be like, hey, GW, you know you're losing this much money?
Yeah, no, it is a pretty good savings.
But it's, let's see, if I did it correctly, okay, the Jet Fighter is $75.
Yeah, I mean, it's roughly like a $50, $40.
Yeah, the thing is $60 for them, and $50 for them. It's normally $185 for what you're getting in this kit.
Yeah, so it's like we'll just say $40.
Yeah. Which is not a bad deal at all.
No, it's good. And I would assume it would have to make the options because they're showing it.
Yeah, they're showing all the different pictures.
So, I mean, even if it didn't necessarily, and the pictures are just weird, it's still a pretty good bargain. Because
technically, without the magic of hobbying, those kits could only make one thing.
Oh yeah, I mean, they only can make one thing. And
so I'm
really,
saying, like, without the hobbying thing, you could, like, convert them to swap between the two.
You would have to do a lot of useless and unnecessary work to the Ravenwing to do that.
Yes.
You would have to really, really, really hate yourself to do that.
But I did it, and I love myself.
That's a lie, and slam. Especially the Deathwing, because that's a torso conversion. I mean, that's.
Yep. Well, if I were to do the Deathwings, like if I were ever to convert Deathwings, I would just magnetize the arms and just change out the weapons.
Well, yeah, but I mean, if you want to get the full effect, you need the robe torsos, which you would have to figure out how to magnetize, swap those out, and it'd be pointless.
No, my Terminators wear robes.
It would be pointless. It would be absolutely pointless to do that. But What?
Our camera girl just decided to say that my butt wears robes.
Well, technically it could. You never know. It was whatever.
I guess if it was a tabard, I guess.
The one thing that I don't like about the Dark Vengeance expansion set is you only get 5 cultists. Like, what can you do with 5 cultists?
You could have them die.
I know, but it's just like if any like
you could add them to your Dark Vengeance kit and have 15 in a squad.
But it would have been, I thought it would, they're cultists. Come on.
Yeah.
They're like water. You got to drink them up. I mean, you need a lot.
The paint sets, I'm not sure about. I don't know if I like those.
I'm okay with paint sets because they've done paint sets for a lot of different things all the time. It's just the problem with the paint bundles is not. It's not that it's the pricing because it's a whole bunch of paint. It's that I look at it and go, man, I must not be painting my Marines right because I don't use anywhere near that amount of paint.
Because let's see, I use in my Dark Angels. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, like 10. Out of this kit of 35.
But what is nice about it, is considering it's Dark Angels, is that they're giving you a paint bundle to do Deathwing, Ravenwing, and the green color. So you get all the entire chapter covered.
Actually, doesn't look like Abaddon Black is in this set.
You don't need Abaddon Black in that because you probably have it already. What they're covered is all the accent stuff with the Ravenwing, especially the white.
No. Damn it, I demand thy black put in here. And what's this Eldar flesh? We are not silly Xenos.
It's for shading. I
know.
It's for painting layers.
We're not silly Xenos.
Things I never do.
I never put anything that has a Xenos name on my Marines.
No, I just never actually painted layers. I go, that looks good enough, and then I wash it with something, and then I come back with the same color.
You wash it with water.
Yes. Gotta keep it clean. But
yeah.
No, that's good, and the paint sets are nice. You have to. That's for like full on shaded up 14 different shades of stuff and everything. And I don't paint that way, but you would never have to buy paint for a while if you bought those sets for like that particular army. because you can even go ahead and utilize some of the colors for like cablings and whatnot. So.
Yep. So that's coming out pretty nice. I am digging what GW is doing a lot because it's cool stuff. And again, like we're now getting like packages that are actually reasonably priced again.
Well, the thing I like about this is forget about it being a reasonable price package. That's great. But what I like about it is we're seeing support for something that's been out, which is unheard of for GW. Normally it's like, here's a codex release, here's all the models for that codex and a supplement for it. We'll be back to this army when we have to do a new codex for it, and that's it.
Yeah.
So now we're actually, like Dark Vengeance, they updated Dark Vengeance for the new edition, and now we actually have support for that, which is nice because it's a starter set, and starter sets should have expansion sets, because chances are if you bought the starter set, you want to collect one of the forces. And if you do, now here's a way to expand it a little bit. You've gotten your taste. Now we're going to give you a flyer in the case of Dark Angel, so you can figure that out. We're going to give you some more bikes and more Deathwing, because bikes and Deathwing are awesome. And with Chaos, you get big armor, you get some jump pack. It's a way to help expand a collector's force who's just getting into the hobby. So that's good. And the one thing, my biggest criticism is, and it's for GW because it's the way it's an army game with the way things are released. You can't really just kind of trickle it for a whole new edition. A new edition has to drop, but is the lack of kind of support once the new shininess wears off of it, and hopefully this is a step towards the direction of actually every so often releasing something to support an army or a box set or something.
Like, even, like, with this stuff, like, with the new NIDs and such, like, it's like, oh, cool, you're giving them more stuff, and kind of making up for, kind of like, in a sense, like, it kind of feels like they're kind of giving them something to help combat what just came out type of thing.
Yeah.
With the new armies.
A little bit, and, I wouldn't be surprised if a codex dropped, but...
And I don't think they would drop a codex this early because they were like the first 7th edition codex.
Yeah, but unless it's like an emergency, we gotta drop a codex thing.
There's rumor that Vect is going to get the same treatment, but then again, everyone's been going, "Oh, Vect's coming back, we swear it," because everyone wants Vect to come back.
You know what's funny though? Nobody used Vect.
No one used Vect until they discovered that Dark Eldar and Eldar combos were nasty.
Even still, Vect was never that popular of a dude. Having one combo doesn't bring back the dead, essentially. But I liked Vect as a character. I thought he was a cool character. But it's just like, it's funny because
I didn't like his model.
Well, I didn't like much of the old Dark Eldar models because it looked like they just took green stuff and stretched it and went, that's a face. And then, but with the exception of the Incubi, I like them. But, it's one niche combo, and everybody's freaking out about it now. But it's like, but nobody even cared when he was there. So it's like, how dare you take away something that 4 people in the entire world utilize? It's just like, sorry. But,
it is kind of crazy how people do, like, freak out over stuff like that, but then there's stuff... Huh?
You know what's the worst about it, though? Is they'll freak out about stuff, saying, we want this, whatever, and then it comes out and nobody buys it anyway. It's like all the people...
Because usually at the time it's like, well, why'd they give it back, and why'd they have to change it? I was like, they aren't just going to copy and paste the old thing, they're going to change it.
Yeah, but it's just like, then it'll come out, and let's say you have 100 people complaining about this, just for an arbitrary number. Like, 7 will end up buying it. And it's like, really, where's the other 93 that were complaining about how it's not there? You don't, like, in my opinion, you don't have a right to complain about it if it wasn't something you wanted to purchase in the first place. Like, I don't complain about no Vect because I never wanted him.
Now, you know what I'm very, very upset about?
What?
That everybody kind of just rolled over and gave up on Sergeant Naaman. He was not that, to me personally, he was not that great of a character. But I find, like, I just love it, like, when everyone will, like, complain about one character, but then they'll remove another character and everyone's like, screw that guy.
Well, Sergeant Naaman was a scout sergeant.
I know.
And here's the deal with scouts. In all, like, if you look at the hierarchy of Space Marine units, scouts are really only utilized by, like, real specific builds. Like,
yep.
I look at scouts and go, never gonna buy those, never gonna use those.
Pretty much.
Because they don't fit for me. Like, even technically, if I had them all sniper rifled out, they might fit for me, but I look at it and go, no. No, I want powered armor, guys.
But it's like with same deal with like the Dark Angels Codex. Everyone's pissed that Vec is gone, but no one cares that the Baron is gone.
The Baron?
The Baron was this beast character. He basically made beast armies for
I
them.
thought you said Dark Angels Codex. I'm like, who's the Baron? But
I might have said Dark Angels, but I meant Dark Eldar.
Oh yeah, exactly.
But like, I know everyone like complained that the Baron was gone for like the first initial release when the rules were like leaked out that he wasn't in it. Everyone was going, "What? That's so stupid!" Blah blah blah. Then after the Codex came out, everyone only complained about Vec and not the Baron. I'm like, but wasn't the Baron deemed like the best model to use in like army combos?
It's the case of it's just the case of the new Codex. I know every time I always hear the whining and the moaning and complaining when a new Codex drops from GW, and then you give it like a week, and people are like, oh yeah, whatever. And it's like, but I could have sworn you were crying havoc like a week ago. So
it's true. So
like I don't really pay attention to people too much because of that anymore. But yeah, no, it'll be interesting to see what happens. With Vex, if anything, and it'll be interesting to see what else they might do with the Tyranids. And I like that the Dark Vengeance has gotten this thing. And what's really cool, I was looking at the other day, Dark Vengeance. If you're a Chaos player or getting into it, and you do it through Dark Vengeance, and you want to collect them as the Crimson Slaughter, it's awesome. Because you have really cool models for it. Then you can get this expansion for it. And then you know what? Once you get into the rules, you can buy the supplement for the Crimson Slaughter.
Yeah.
You really have a Crimson Slaughter for it. So I think that's really cool.
And from what I'm reading in this expansion, it also comes with the mini rulebook.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I think if I'm reading it, it says, and comes with rules for playing the game in the box. Though that may mean it just comes with quick set rules.
It might, but either way, it's still cool because it might just be a little like sheet that says this is a little Land Raider, this is what it's got, which is still great for learning the game. So. Oh
yeah, let's see. Let's see. Yes, rules for using the contents in games of Warhammer 40,000 are included in this box.
Yeah, which is always good to have. Yep. So that's good, but.
What's up?
No, it's something not 40k related, so if you got something 40k related, go for it.
I just wanted to say one thing before we kind of shift the gears a bit, as we do sometimes, because we're in a driving car of podcasting.
Yeah.
I recently, very recently, discovered, I remember one time you said, in the Space Wolves Codex, the whole Dark Angel Space Wolf rivalry has a different perspective. You know how the Space Wolves are like, we respect them and blah 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 and all that other stuff.
In the previous edition, I don't know about this edition that came out, but
apparently it's the same deal.
Okay.
But what I didn't know was that they totally changed the story of the Lion and the Wolf.
Yeah, essentially.
And first off, one, they got it wrong. They're lying. But second of all, I actually thought that was a really clever idea, because it kind of helped builds up the role play aspect. Because I had one friend who got into an argument about the whole thing because he's like, well, because one was a Space Wolf player, he's a Dark Angel player because he knows what he's doing, and he was telling him, oh no, the Russ refused to listen to the Lion and attacked the fort without listening to the Lion's plan, and the Lion executed his plan, and that's why he's mad at him. And he goes, no, he abandoned the Space Wolves and slaughtered them, blah, blah, blah. He's like, no, it's not. Look, here's my codex. Click. Here's a picture. See, this is the story. And they've got into these huge argument because the two sides are different.
Yep.
And what do you think about that kind of aspect?
Well, that's been like that for as long as the two have had different codices. Like, even in the old editions of the two, they had different stories of the Lion and the Wolf. And I'm glad that they kept it, because that's great. And the only concern for that will be the Forged World Horse Heresy books if they decide to talk about it. And what'll be really trick is if they describe it one way in the Space Wolf Legion and describe it a different way in the Dark Angels Legion fluff. To kind of, because that would be really trick and keep it like it is. But
the only thing that I'd be really confused about if they talk about it is in the Dark Angels Codex, they say it happened before the heresy.
Yeah,
and the Space Wolves Codex says it happens during the heresy.
The time period is not important because, quite honestly, the time period of when that battle taking place has shifted multiple times in the pre-heresy, Horus Heresy timeline. Like, when that battle took place has shifted multiple times. So, it's...
Okay.
And as it stands, it's most likely a pre-heresy battle anyway, considering when the heresy was afoot, the Space Wolves were sieging Prospero, and the Dark Angels were battling the Night Lords.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they were battling the Night Lords, so it's most likely a pre-heresy battle now again. Because, so, as long as it stays timeline-wise consistent, I don't mind what they do, and given the backstory of the Legions, it would be cool if it does do it up as giving it a slightly different tweak on both sides. And the funny thing about it is, it's a different tweak of the same coin, because whether or not the Lion abandoned the post of the Dark Angels Legions redeployed swiftly or not,
and had all the Space Wolves get killed.
Yeah, or whether the Space Wolves attacked by themselves, Russ is going to view it similarly, and the Dark Angels are going to view it similarly, and it's really two sides of the truth, because even if the Dark Angels never committed to the attack with the Space Wolves, because they didn't go support them, Space Wolves took extra casualties. So either way, it's the same result. It's just cool how they view it differently. And I like that. The one thing I do miss is that they really kind of dropped the whole Space Wolf Thousand Suns thing. Like, it used to be back in the 4th edition rules or so of the Space Wolves, they used to have a rule in there. It was with the Dark Angels and with Thousand Suns, where they would just hit each other on threes no matter what in close combat, because they hit each other. And it was a cool little rule that if Space Wolves fought Thousand Suns, they did that same thing. And then they dropped that, and they had the Lion and the Wolf still in the Codex. They still had the Dark Angel Space Wolf thing, but they kind of went, Thousand Suns, no, we never heard of them. Never heard of them. Sweeping underneath the rug. Like, they kind of just dropped all the thousands, I don't know.
The mass genocide.
The huge hatred between the two legions. They kind of just dropped that.
Let's just ignore the fact that the Thousand Suns invaded the Fang just like they did.
Yeah, let's ignore the fact that, I don't know, there's been a whole event set in motion during the Horus Heresy time period.
We will also, I'd just like to note to everyone that in the book Battle of the Fang, when the Thousand Suns attacked Fenris, the reason they were able to do so successfully was because they heard a rumor that Magnus was on this planet, and they launched 11 of the 12 great companies at him. So it's not like, that's cute things. No, it's we must murder these people.
Yeah, it's still very much in their fluff, a huge thing, but in terms of novels. But when it comes to the Codex, it's like, yeah, there's these blue douchebags. We don't care much about them. And it's like, what? Really? We're gonna? All right. Well, let's just forget about the Thousand Suns then. And same thing on the Chaos side. It's like, oh yeah, we're gonna forget about that whole little hiccup in the history of our Legion. That little whoopsie daisies.
I did always find it interesting that when these codexes came out, all the rules pertaining to the rivalries were always in the Space Wolf Codex and not in the other twos.
Well, yeah, because the Space Wolves hold a grudge. That's why I'm not a fan of the Space Wolves chapter, but I really like what they do what they used to do, and what they kind of still do in terms of the story with their grudges, because it's them who hold it.
The Dark Angels don't like them.
Well, the Dark Angels don't like any other chapter, to be honest. If it's not one of the Unforgiven, they don't really care for them.
True.
They destroyed a Black Templar strike cruiser. Let's be serious for a second. They don't care about anybody.
I'm just saying, we haven't forgiven them just as much as they have. Technically, according to the Space Wolves now, they did forgive us, and they think we're all chummy.
Well, yeah, but even if even the Dark Angels and the Space Wolves don't really get along, it's more of the fact that the Dark Angels will do what they got to do, and it's the Space Wolves who hold a grudge, because the Space Wolves are Space Marine dwarves, remember, and dwarves hold grudges. So that's why they're Space Dwarves essentially, Space Dwarf Viking werewolf things. Anyway, and they hold the grudge. So I think it works in just putting it in the Space Wolf Codex. And also I think it works there also because let the Space Wolf player be worried about and keeping track of the rules. I don't care because I got following the capture. I don't care.
Oh. So now what I personally think is I also too enjoy it primarily because it keeps with the story. So when a Space Wolf player and a Dark Angels player are together, it kind of helps with that whole role-play aspect, as long as people don't get really angry at each other about it. You have that whole... what? Hello?
People have to just, people have to breathe.
Yeah, but I just love that, how you can go in and be like, it's oh, we're going to finally get back to you on what you did to us on that planet. It's please, you guys didn't listen to us. No, you guys just totally abandoned us. And he kind of builds that whole roleplay aspect around the two, and I really like that a lot. It kind of encourages the roleplay in a sense.
It does.
Even if you do find out what the both stories are, it's well, I'm a Dark Angel player, I'm going to believe our version of the story type of thing. And like you said, I do find it interesting that if they decide to do the Lion and the Wolf story in Horus Heresy, I think would be really awesome to see how that would be played out.
Yeah. I personally hope they keep the stories different a little bit still.
What would be really cool is, how they do the Altars of War? Well, they kind of stopped doing that, but how they used to do the Altars of War?
Yeah.
I think it would be really cool if they did two variants, a Space Wolf one and a Dark Angel one. And it goes, if the Dark Angel player wins the roll-off, he can use the Dark Angel variant of the Lion and the Wolf. If it's the Space Wolf player that wins, they use the Space Wolf variant of the Lion and the Wolf.
Well, the Lion and the Wolf is just a story.
I'm just saying that's what I refer to that event.
Yeah, but the Honor Duel is just an Honor Duel. But I would like to see just a Lion and Wolf data slate, just a fun little mission thing.
Yeah, I always refer to the whole event as the Lion and the Wolf. So that's what I mean by that. But I think that would be awesome, as if they just go, okay, if the Dark Angel gets to choose, we're going to play it the way they perceive it.
Yeah. But it is nice because it does, like you said, the whole role-play aspect a little bit of it. But what it really is, and why I like it, is it's immersion. And immersion is so critical. No matter what doesn't matter what war game you play or even a video game, immersion is important. And speaking of immersion, I mean, I don't have the CD with me, and it's really hard to get to run on a Windows 7 machine. But MechWarrior 3,
okay,
of the entire MechWarrior series of games, I'm going to put MechWarrior 3 as the most immersive game in that series. And I'm going to put MechWarrior 3 as in one of the most immersive games, period. Because it's really... You would have to watch the intro cinematic and intro mission and stuff like that and how the missions play out. But it's so immersive, not only in the mission briefing, but throughout the game, you'll hear enemy radio chatter. And, when you do something, you'd be like, Star Colonel, because it's clan ranking, because you're fighting against a clan, and be like, Star Colonel, we've lost contact with so-and-so. And then it'll be another radio chatter. And then when you finish the mission, the debriefing, it's not just mission accomplished to the next mission, there's a little mission debriefing. And it feels so immersive. Plus there's an overhead satellite imagery map thing, and they have drone flybys, and they have intel sweeps, and it's just really immersive.
That's actually the one MechWarrior I actually played, was MechWarrior 3.
MechWarrior 3 was just very immersive. MechWarrior 4 had a... regular MechWarrior 4, not the MechWarrior 4 Black Knight or MechWarrior 4 Mercenaries. While they had some immersion in those two, by the way the mission set up, MechWarrior 4, the main story of that, had great immersion as well. But MechWarrior 3 tops it, in my opinion, and is one of the most immersive games I know of I've ever played, and a lot of people have ever played. And what we're seeing with the Lion and the Wolf in 40K, since we were talking about that specific thing, it's not the only thing in there, mind you.
Yeah.
But it's the topic we're talking about. Is a nice layer of immersion to help you get into your faction, and that's why I miss the Thousand Suns Space Wolf thing, because if you're a Thousand Suns player, you wouldn't. If you're a Thousand Suns player and you just know what's in your Chaos Codex, you'd be forgiven to not even know that the Space Wolves hate you and that they nearly destroyed you and that you nearly destroyed them. You would have no idea at all.
Yep.
So, and in the Space Wolf Codex, you might get a blurb about it.
Yeah.
That's about it. So that's a layer of immersion that is sorely missing. And it's like that with other armies and other races and all that. Like with the Eldar Codex, you kind of be forgiven if you're a new player and just using the Eldar Codex to not really realize how much of a threat Slaanesh is to you.
Yeah.
It's like
or
that's
at least
a huge thing.
the Emperor's children.
Yeah, and like how, I don't know, they created Slaanesh, oopsie daisies, and how that's their big great enemy of the Chaos Gods. It kind of says it, but not really.
Well,
so it's
in the newest Codex, it does play with it more. They do have a whole description of it. And so I think out of all the codexes that Eldar have had, the newest one is the most informative on that front.
Right.
Because in the other ones, they just said the great enemy. They never refer to it by its name, and they're like, what's this great enemy that they keep talking about? And then you're like, Slaanesh. Oh.
But even there, you get a name and you get a little bit more about it, but you don't understand.
And at least we get the hatred part now. So now we actually have hatred Slaanesh.
There you go. But and it's funny because this is the newer codex that has more information than the older codices, which is usually the opposite when it comes to GW. And you got to go ahead and you got to find these older editions to get more information. But so that's always a problem. But immersion is key, and if anybody tells you otherwise, then I don't know why they're playing a game. Because the whole idea is to be immersed into it, and that's why people make the pew pew noises and the driving noises or the flying noises. It's silly on the outset, but what it is that's part of the immersion. You're getting into it. It's no longer just static models on a board. This is a battle happening.
Yep. No, sometimes I'll do that. I'll get a guy who's like, okay, he's dead. It's like he's getting killed.
Exactly.
He's making a noise. He doesn't go silently into the night.
And speaking of war games, though, I just got an email confirmation. They've been doing this for a while, but Palladium Books, the makers of the Robotech RPG Tactics war game, let's just call it a war game.
Yes.
Forget about their specific title for it. My Kickstarter that I purchased has gotten shipped to New York, but shipped to me. So it's been a while coming. It's been delayed and everything, but then they've been really cool about keeping everybody informed. Like at least a weekly email, if not a little bit more frequent than that, about what's going on since the Kickstarter ended. So
yeah, because I remember you talking about that a while ago, and then you kind of stopped, and I was like, whatever happened to that?
Yeah, it got delayed. It had problems. Then there was a whole problem with the shipping containers getting to them and everything. But they're sorting it out, and they're finally doing massive shipments to all of the backers. So that's cool, for me, because I'm going to be getting it.
So they finally got past that alien robots. They found the song they needed to get past the blockade, to get their shipments. Yes,
they figured out, music and love is what they needed. But, which is classic Japanese animation.
We're gonna beat it with the power of love.
I mean, that's what Avas were all powered by, right? But anyway,
no, they weren't powered like that at all. They were powered by batteries,
which were charged by love.
The only other mechs that I found that where they had an emotion power everything was Gurren Lagann, because in Gurren Lagann it was your will to fight that gave you. That powered your mech. If you didn't have the will to battle, then your mech turned off.
Yeah, well, Robotech is mecha stuff, but even outside of mecha, it was an 80s thing. So, in the 80s, there's always this weird stuff about love and peace and music that would conquer everything. That would conquer.
You're gonna conquer with the power of love.
Basically. But, the Kickstart backers are getting the stuff finally for and all that good stuff. But what that also means is once they've finished getting all that out, you'll probably be seeing it on the stores shelves, or at least to order if you're not a Kickstarter. So if you're a Robotech fan, keep an eye out for that, because the coolest thing that I like about it is the Veritech fighters. They can transform into 3 modes: fighter mode, guardian mode, and battleoid, which is your mech mode. And they give you in one kit to make the one Veritech Valkyrie comes with a model to represent each. So because they have a mechanic in there which is actual in-game transformation. So you'll have them come in the board as a Veritech fighter, the plane mode. You have them swoop in, outflank the enemy, and then transform and land. So you can do that in the game because you do it in the show. So I thought that was really cool.
Now, one thing I'm going to ask, and I don't know if it was ever mentioned in the Robotech side of the whole Macross thing or anything like that, but I will ask anyway, is there a model for Macross Battle Station?
The SDF-1, I believe there is. I don't know. I don't have the model. There was work on making something for it, and I think we'll see that once it hits shelves. Or something for it.
All right, so they changed his name to SDF-1. What does the SDF stand for?
It was like something fortress. Like you're talking about the big white battleship?
Yeah, the white battleship that in most of the OVAs and such they refer to as the Macross.
Oh, it is the Macross, but its full name is the SDF-1 Macross.
Okay.
I never watched super dimensional. Yeah, it's Super Dimensional Fortress is what SDF stands for.
Okay.
And it's got SDF-1 because there wasn't an SDF-2 and an SDF-3.
Yes.
Yeah, there was 2 in Robotech, which is Macross, and the Macross saga of Robotech. There was 2 in that one, and stuff that's actually connected to it later on, like OVAs, was like an SDF-3 and stuff like that. So,
okay,
it gets complicated with the SDF, but yeah,
It also gets very complicated, like, this day and age, because, like, most of the community, it's, like, the one thing that I've noticed is that, Robotech, most of the community around kind of tries to sweep Robotech under the rug to get you back to Macross, but no one cares about the Lion saga of, Voltron. Everyone still allows you to remember that. Like, because if you, like, look up if you talk to the anime community, and you're like, what about Robotech? They're like, yeah,
and here's a...
Huh? Yeah. Sorry? You got kind of, like, all disjubbly-bubbly.
Huh?
Like, you're getting all, like, staticky, like, broken transmission. So, what were you saying?
No, I was saying, yeah.
Yeah, because it's like, everyone's like, if you talk about Voltron, they're like, oh, Voltron, it's this. Well, fun fact, it's actually a combination of 2 shows type of thing. But if you ever go Robotech, they, like, slap you in the face and go, no! That doesn't exist! And I find that hilarious. Because it's kind of true.
I don't know why they do that.
I don't know either. The only thing I can think of...
I don't know why they do it.
Yeah. The only thing I can think of is that the people who are fans of whatever Voltron was created from, they thought the end product was good, and I guess they just didn't like the Robotech after they saw Macross? I don't know.
Well, to be fair, Macross, which is the Macross saga of Robotech, the first one, is in I guess the Japanese side, whatever. Completely, there is no direct connection to the stuff that comes afterwards, like was made in Robotech. So they tried to make everything be interconnected, which was odd because the main female character in the second saga of Robotech, whatever that was called, has yellow hair. And she's supposed to be the kid between these 2 people in Robotech who had a kid, the Macross saga. But the kid had blue hair.
Yeah. Supposedly, most of that is because they kind of smushed 3 original television series together to make that.
Well, yeah, no, they did. That's what I'm saying. But like they kind of had a sort of not direct connection to each other, but they kind of had something going on. But Robotech, the series, forced them to make a direct connection.
Yeah, as Harmony Gold puts it, it goes Robotech the Macross Saga, then Robotech 2 the Sentinels, then Robotech the Movie, then Robotech the Masters, Robotech the New Generation, and Robotech the Shadow Chronicles.
Right, and a lot of that stuff never really linked together anyway. Which is what people were complaining about, but I just go, listen, I watch it, and it's cool. Like, all you have to do is just watch the Macross Saga, and that's it of Robotech, if that's all you care about. Because it's the same thing no matter if you watch it as Macross or watch it as Robotech. Yeah. So, and that's the only one people care about, because that's the only really cool one. The other ones are, that's the best one. The other ones are okay, but that's the best one. So, I don't know why people are so up in arms, and you have to be careful amongst Macross fans. Because if you go, I like Robotech, they go, it's not Robotech. It's like, whoa.
I had that one issue at a gaming store. Someone was like, we were talking about something, and he goes, oh, you ever watch Macross? I'm like, Macross? And he's like, he starts describing it. I'm like, oh, it's something based off of Robotech? And he went, no, it's not based off Robotech. Robotech was built off of Macross. Like, he was, like, really holding back to not get mad at me. Like, it's okay, he doesn't know, don't get mad.
Which is really sad when you think about it.
Yeah, I know.
But, like, with that picture you showed, the metaphor picture of the Timberwolf, it's like, it's exactly the same thing, because the Timberwolf was the clan name and Madcast the industry designation. Who cares? It's awesome.
Yeah.
Same thing with Robotech and Macross. It's awesome.
Yeah, I saw that OVA one, the one where the news reporter discovers that Earth is like doctoring up news footage to make things look like things aren't so bad, and he meets the one alien chick who's like, I gotta get to the Macross station, and the alien dudes are trying to get her back, and it seemed pretty interesting.
Yeah, there were a couple like OVA movie stuff.
Yeah,
that's in that.
I forget what it's called.
That I've watched. That cool. Yeah. And there's one that's like in the far future of the timeline, and they have like these crazy jets or whatever.
Yeah. We'll see if I can because I know where I saw it, but keep going.
Yeah. But so yeah, with the whole Kickstarter thing though, that's finally going to be fully released, which is nice because I don't care. It's under the Robotech name, so you have to swallow your pride if you want to play it, because it's called Robotech. For anybody out there, but that's okay. It's just fine. Everybody relax.
Yeah.
So
just relax. Just do it.
There is. Yeah. So that's. I'm looking forward to eventually seeing that at some point during the holiday time period. But that'll be cool. And painting is going to be a chore, though, because there's a lot of white involved in this series. The Zentradi space pods are white and blue, and the Veritech fighters are like a weird beige and white. Or if you have Rick Hunters, it's red with white. And if you have the other guy's name, who I just forgot, if you have his Veritech, it's black with white. So there's a lot of white, because it's Rick Hunter and Roy Fokker. Because they're painted up like 1980s planes, you see, and everybody liked to paint them up white because the Tomcat stuff was grayish white. So it's not gonna be the most fun thing to paint up. But I have seen pictures of the models and whatnot painted up and unpainted, and the detail is pretty good. I like it. I mean, let's be honest here for a second. It's gonna be hard. Any company, it's gonna be hard pressed to touch GW's level of detail in plastic. Because GW's plastic level of detail is so good.
Yeah, it is really good.
So that is going to be tough to touch to become equal and whatnot. But this detail is good. So.
And you'll have something to do on our new segment that we're introducing.
Yeah, maybe. But,
maybe he's refusing to help.
I'm the wild card.
I do what I want. It's my hot brush. It's my hot brush. I'll paint what I want.
Exactly. You don't know it. You don't know my brush.
You don't own me. I need to be free, like a sparrow.
Out of all the birds.
Yes. Well, out of all the birds, you don't know which one you're going to pick.
But a sparrow?
That's why you're the wild card.
Yeah, if I would have picked something that doesn't even fly to make it funny.
Well, the sparrow never flies. It's an illusion. Look
illusion.
At Woodstock.
It's an illusion.
Well, Woodstock is an eagle, but an eagle is also called a sparrow.
Yeah, but a sparrow bird is a sparrow.
It's an old Peanuts sketch where Lucy's teaching Linus about everything. And they pull up Woodstock, and she goes, and that bird there, it's called an eagle, but because it's still small, it has another name, a sparrow. And Charlie Brown's like, wait, what? And it ends with, and when it's cold and winter is upon us, the snow comes up, just like the flowers. And Charlie Brown's like, no, I know that's not wrong. Snow does not come up, it comes down. She's like, no, it just looks like it's coming up. See, it grows out from the ground, and then the wind blows it and flies it into the air so that it looks like it's falling down.
No.
And then Charlie Brown starts hitting his head on a tree, and Linus goes, what's he doing to that? Why is Charlie Brown hitting his head on that tree, sis? And she goes, that's easy, to loosen the bark so it will grow faster.
Oh, that's completely 100% accurate. That's actually how everything is.
But that's interesting. That's cool to see that that's finally coming up in arms. And let's see, is there any other cool things going on? Oh, well, what's up?
I was gonna say the Forge Roll introduced another night variant.
Yes,
I think they're taking it too far with the knights. They should just, because in the Knight book it states how we have the Paladin, the Orant, there's the Lancer and Crusader. The Paladin and the Orant are the most well known, and the Lancer and the Crusader are pretty rare. And there are other variants, but they're even rarer and harder to find, virtually gone. And now we have everything but the Crusader.
Yep.
And it's like, where are all these? Why are you pulling all this stuff out of your hat? What's going on here?
Everybody, like the new one, I've read everyone's getting super excited because, one, I like it because it's very mechanic-y looking.
It is.
And it has mechanicum weapons on it, but in the description of it, they talk about how it, that people don't like, that most of the factions don't like utilizing it because it kind of gets like a very thirsty, battle-hungry nature.
Yeah.
And so everyone's going, OMG, this is the precursor to the Chaos Legion of Knights. Awesome! And it's like, they haven't said anything about a Chaos Knight House yet. I think they're only briefly mentioned in the Imperial Armor 13. So don't be, like, putting words in their mouth, because then you're just going to get pissed when it doesn't happen.
Exactly. That's exactly what's going to happen. They're going to get mad because what they thought was happening didn't happen.
They're like, what? They so totally dropped hints. They dropped hints everywhere. They're like, they never once dropped any hints. They just described what the history of these mechs were, and you jumped to conclusions.
Yes. Yes, that is exactly what's going to happen. Oh, man.
Good stuff. I'm just waiting for some new Primarch stuff to come out because I want to see that stuff. I love the character series that Horus Heresy is producing.
They're doing a good job with that series, and that's really good. And Black Library is doing a pretty decent job of making me want to learn more about Space Marine chapters. I don't want to, but the Flesh Terrors specifically, all the cool stuff that they've been talking about that they're doing for the Flesh Terrors coming up.
That's the Blood Angel supplement, right?
Yeah, or Successor.
Successors, right.
Which is something they should do. I mean, the Codex needs a new one first, I guess, but they should keep Gabriel Seth in the Codex and then make a supplement for Flesh Terrors. And I also feel the supplemental books I think I understand why they don't introduce special characters in it, but at the same time, if it's a brand new special character not in any other print, I wouldn't have a problem if they introduce a special character in a supplement book. You know,
I wouldn't either. Like just a good example, just like let's just for odd reasons, let's just use let's trying to think of a decent like codex that I know, like let's just say, for example, the Eldar codex. Let's say they make a Bealtan supplement. I would be totally down for them introducing a special character that only is in the Bealtan codex and can only be used in the Bealtan supplement. I think that would be awesome.
Exactly.
That would give me more reason to buy the codex, because it's not just, it's just extra rules that I can look up later because someone has the book. It's, holy crap, there's a new unit in here. I need to get this.
And because we have Clan Ralkan, which is an Iron Hand supplement. Yep. And by the way, I don't know what GW's fascination with Third Company is, because Clan Ralkan is Iron Hand's Third Company. Sentinels of Terra is Imperial Fist, Third Company. Belial came from the Third Company.
Third Company. Everything is Third Company with these people.
Except for Ultramarines. They love the Ultramarine Second Company.
Yes.
So I don't understand it. But
I did... Sorry?
But Clan Ralkan was an Iron Hand supplement. And Iron Hands have chapter tactics, but they don't have a special character because they get no loving. So they got the supplement book, which would have been a perfect opportunity to give them a special character, but no special character in there as far as I can tell.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything about that. Funny thing... Sorry?
No, I'm just saying, that's the case why would...
It's... Yes, like this...
be cool, and more like you mentioned with Bealtan, it's just that... Do that.
I think more people would be more willing to buy the supplements if they got more than just use your old codex, use these rules. You know, because that's something anyone can get. You know, throwing out at least a special character or something. Oh, I have to convert a model. Oh, I have to buy this model and this model and this model because the description says he has this war gear, this war gear, and this war gear, and I need these 3 kits to get it type of thing. You know, it sells more, I feel. You're selling more with less.
Basically, I mean, don't get me wrong. You don't need to throw a special character in a supplement book, but when the opportunity is too good, why not?
You should. Yeah. Or if they did...
you don't need a special character to win games.
Yeah. No, you don't need to, but it would be, like I said, it's a nice incentive for for armies where, like I said, where it deems appropriate.
Yeah, no, exactly, and that's I think the best job they did with that in a way was the Farsight Enclave, because they weren't deemed special characters, but you had to build them a certain way to use them as one of the 8.
The 8, yep.
Yeah.
I was like, when I heard about them, I was like, that's cool. You know, what did the Eldar get? We can make a Wraith Lord a Warlord. Woo!
Which is cool.
It's cool, but it's like, just take that Wraith Lord model. He's got a Warlord trait now. It's like, really? I don't have to do anything to make him a Warlord? No. You just say he is. You know, at least with the 8, it's like, here's a battle suit. If you arm him this way, he can be this guy. You're like, whoa, that sounds fancy.
True. That is true. That's why I really like that, although I still feel we could have just had one sentence in Farsight's entry and we wouldn't need a supplement, but...
Yeah, that's some of these supplements were very much like that. Like, even the Iaden one...
I mean... Well, the Iaden one's cool, though.
It is cool, but again, like, a lot of the only thing that's really, like, super cool in it is the artifacts. Like, the bulk of the book could have been in the Eldar Codex. Because it was basically the same thing. Take a Spirit Seer and your Wraith Guard are troops. I'm like, oh, just like if I'm running the Eldar.
Yeah, but I like that since it was focusing on this particular specialized way of playing the Eldar Codex. It's good with it doesn't, in a sense, in that regard. What I like about the Iaden one is that it didn't clutter it up.
Fair enough.
But what they have to do I feel, is introduce more supplements for books that already are out. Let's take Eldar.
Yeah.
You know, it'd be really cool. I think people would freak out about if they made Exodite a supplement.
Yeah. Yeah, the Exodites, I know people have been begging for those to come back.
Yeah, you just do that as a supplemental book. Here's how you can use Codex Eldar to represent Exodite Eldar. People will go, OMG! And, like, right there, boom, sells.
Or Mechanicum for guard type of thing.
Yeah, I just want a Mechanicum Codex, let's be real.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. You know, you make a supplement codex for Mechanicum, make it a guard supplement, people eat that up.
They will, although I will also say that I'd be like, I demand a full-on real codex. I want it to be a real boy. But
I want it to be a real boy.
But like, and you know what I think? Like they missed the ball with the Space Wolf supplement and the Orc supplement. Because the Orc supplement's for Gaskell. Yeah. And who really cares? I don't mean that because in a bad way. I mean, you could just use represent Gaskell Force in the Orc Codex.
Yeah.
They could have done either a Speed Freak supplement or a Freebootist supplement, because those are specific army builds.
Yeah.
They could have done, I think that would have been a better opportunity in the Space Wolves.
Yeah. Blah. Sorry, but like Gaskell, I felt like he is very just generic. You know, he doesn't have anything. Don't get me wrong, Gaskell is awesome, but he doesn't have anything fancy around him where it's like, oh, this is what makes your army a Gaskell army.
Exactly. And I would go, I thought that would be taking Gaskell, makes it a Gaskell army.
That's pretty much it.
but with the Space Wolves, you guys were cheated. I mean, I'm not a Space Wolf guy at all, but you guys were cheated. Champions of Fenris, Logan Grimnar's personal company, we have Logan Grimnar, we have Arjak Rockfist, we don't need any of that. What they should have done for you all was either 13th Company or just supplement Wolfen.
Yeah.
Because the Wolfen have been gone.
I was just about to say that. I was like, oh, man, I was expecting like that silly 13th Company or something.
Yeah,
to get them Wolfen dudes. Yeah,
they should have got that, and instead of
or even the Red Maws. The only thing they have now is like the Red Maw dude in the Imperial armor.
Forget about Red Maw.
For anyone who doesn't know, we do not like Red Maw. He's kind of stupid.
And really, and any honest Space Wolf fan should be shaking their head and go, we just forget it. We just put him in the corner and say, play with his chew toy, because it's so stupid.
It is. It is very stupid.
Especially because he has Runic armor, which is basically Autofrice armor, but he can transform into a full-fledged werewolf.
Yes, not like the Wolfman, like like today's modern day werewolf. That's what he turned into.
And it's like, I'm surprised one of his other wolf lords didn't put a bullet in his head. You know?
Well, I've been reading up, they keep a close eye on him. And I was like, dude, no. He would have been found out like years ago, because one, he's a space wolf, cursed with the Wolfen. He meets with anyone outside the chapter, they're gonna piss him off and he's gonna go Wolfman on them.
Not even that. The moment he first transformed, I can almost guarantee you the Inquisition when I sense a disturbance in the Force.
Pretty much.
Because it's just not... It's just so silly. But, like, I think they got shortchanged with Champions of Fenris as a supplement. And,
I agree.
And the Sentinels of Terror, now don't get me wrong, the Imperial Fist supplement, the Imperial Fist have the unique distinction of being the Sentinels of Terror, literally. So,
yeah, that's
cool. But in place of doing the Imperial Fist, they could at the very least have done Silver Skulls. Now, the Silver Skulls chapter is a chapter that GW kind of flirts with here and there. They use them a lot in older codices to represent, like, just model pictures and whatnot. They make shoulder pads for them.
Yes,
and the Silver Skulls fluff they're very librarian heavy about doing the tarot and doing a whole bunch of readings and divining, so they're basically able to show up before the enemy does and kill them. You know, they have a very good victory streak because of that. So you had an opportunity here to make, let's say, a Silver Skull supplement. You sell the shoulder pads so people can go, oh, I collect them, but there's no... oh, wait, there are shoulder pads. Okay, I'll collect them. You know, because I know a lot of people like me, they don't want to collect it if they can't put the symbol on there. And, and also, it would have been a way to get librarian players more involved. Because this could have made a librarian thing. And I was thinking about that. You know, instead of doing that, Silver Skulls, or if not Silver Skulls, they could have done the Blood Ravens and actually finally link Dawn of War to 40K.
Yeah. That's one thing I'm surprised they haven't jumped on yet. Though the only thing I could think of is they don't, either because A, there's some silly contractual thing in the video game thing about it, or B, they are concerned about the video games not, you know, them saying one thing and then the video games contradicting it is the only thing I can think of as to why they don't touch them.
They could, all they have to do is just look at the current state of the Blood Ravens, which was, you know, nearly wiped out, but purged the chaos taint from their ranks, and now they're recovering.
Yep.
That's all they have to do it as. And they can leave it to the devices. And Forge World already has the decal sheet for them.
They do.
So why not have a... And especially, you know how many people got... You know how many people collect Blood Ravens because of Dawn of War? And you know how many people know Blood Ravens exist because of Dawn of War? I can almost guarantee... I can almost guarantee it.
Yeah, one of our group actually does collect Blood Ravens.
I've painted a few myself because why not? They're Blood Ravens. They're cool. And they're in the Black Library story a little bit with the whole Thousand Suns stuff. But even outside of that...
Yep.
Pure curiosity will have people buy it. And because they go, I know the Blood Ravens, let's see what they got in the tabletop now. Also, if you'd make the Blood Raven supplement, which is another, you can make another librarian-heavy supplement, players who don't want to play Blood Ravens but want to use librarians a lot will just buy the supplement and do accounts ads.
Yeah.
So I think they missed the opportunity there, and I feel the same thing about the Chaos Black Legion one. I think the Crimson Slaughter, fantastic. The Black Legion one, that's the codex. Why do you need a supplement?
You know, like they could have done anything else. One of the actual legions that aren't part of the Black Legion.
Yeah, like one of the other original Traitor Legions. They could have done that.
Like the World Eaters, the Emperor's Children, the Word Bearers,
the Iron Warriors, or what would have been really cool, the Sons of Malice. Because the Sons of Malice worship this. The whole fluff about the Sons of Malice went through a lot of retconning, because back in the day, they didn't really care. They went willy-nilly with Chaos stuff. But they kind of retconned Malal to be now called the Chaos God Malice. He used to be called Malal, and he's a lesser god. He's the unspoken of the fifth lesser god. And
isn't there a demon sheet for him now?
I don't know if it still exists. There might have been one, but I don't know if it still exists. But they worship him, and Malice hates everything.
Yep.
Everything.
Yes, they did make a data sheet recently for him. He was part of the Advent calendar last year.
All right. So, yeah, everything. He hates everything. Like, your chaos, kill you.
Yep.
They don't care. And they also do a lot of cannibalism and slave-taking. But this would have been an awesome rogue element to throw out there.
Yeah.
Because reasons. So, I mean... I especially, like, I view the Black Legion like I view the Ultramarines, where that is your codex. You don't need a supplement for yourself.
Yeah. I made a mistake. I'm thinking of Baylor. Baylor.
Okay. Yeah, that guy.
But Baylor Core or whatever you want to pronounce it.
Yeah, but it's just like the Black Legion is like, well, that's the Chaos Codex. Just like if the Ultramarines had a supplement, I'd be like, what for? That's the codex. The codex is you.
Funny story about that. I was me and a guy were playing a game on Friday, and we mentioned there was this one guy kind of like curious about the game and such. We're like, oh, and what really is great about being Dark Angels, is we're the first, and it's like, oh, and you don't mess with the First Legion, and the guy's like, oh, you mean the Ultramarines? And my friend turned, because we both were playing Dark Angels, he turns to him and goes, get out of this place right now. He's like, well, it's like, no, they are not the First Legion.
Yeah.
What? Why aren't they? They are not.
They're like 13th?
Something like that.
If I remember. Something along those lines. But yeah, the first, there's a list, and they're not they're not the first. But So, and I think when they eventually redo the Dark Angels and the Blood Angels Codex, they should do supplements for successors. But if they do successor chapter supplements, that's the only way you can do it. You have to introduce at least one special character, because you're not going to be able to play Azrael in Angels of Vengeance, because he's not. Yeah. That's not. They don't have an Azrael. They have their own dude.
Yep. They have their own dude that just happens to answer to them.
Yeah. So
Ultramarines is 13th. You were right.
Man, that's sad that I remember
Quick,
that.
What legion is Death Guard?
Oh, God, I don't know. Did they do something silly and make them the 7th Legion?
Nope.
Okay, good, because that would have been stupid. Because
they're 14th.
Are they the 14th Legion?
Yep. It goes Dark Angels,
Emperor's
unknown for
Emperor's
number two is unknown.
Yeah, but we don't count 2 and
Emperor's Children is 3.
Yeah, then
Iron Warriors is 4.
Iron Warriors. Then
White Scars.
Space Wolves.
Space
Wolves should be what Imperial Fist after Space Wolves?
Yep.
Then it'll be the Night Lords, which I found funny because those two hate each other. And then after that, I don't even know what number that is.
Blood Angels is number 9.
They're number 9.
Iron Hands is number 10.
11th we don't know.
World Eaters is 12.
Right.
Ultramarines is 13. Death Guard is 14th.
15th. Thousand
Sons. Sons of Horus is 16th. World Bearers is 17th. Salamanders is 18th. Raven Guard is 19th. And Alpha is 20.
Yeah, they're the last. And it's like, haha, we're the Alpha Legion, the last Legion.
Yep.
Which they would have made a perfect supplement for. Because the Alpha Legion is so secretive and weird and nobody knows anything about them.
Yep. But that's probably why they decided not to do them, because, like, we can't reveal anything.
Which is a bunch of BS. That's one thing that's annoying about GW's IP for anything, not just PK. It's like when it's...
Don't tell anybody.
Don't tell anybody the cool secrets that people want to know. And I get it. You know, if this was a movie, you wouldn't tell anybody because it would be revealed, or it would just be a hidden thing of the movie that you have to find out for yourself. But when you're when the player is basically the god, right? One of the gods.
Yep.
You have an omnipresent feel to it because you're the player. You should know everything.
Yep.
Like, for example, we know the Dark Angel secret. Any player knows it. But in the fluff, it's a secret. And we understand that. So it's like, why not do that for everything? Like, I get it. I also get the deliberate plot holes and stuff left open for interpretation.
Yeah.
But you can't do that for everything. You got to give us, especially for the Alpha Legion, you got to give us something.
And with that, we are out of time. Thank you all for joining us today. Let us know your thoughts, your musings about what we discovered. Is there any questions that you have specifically for anybody?
Yes. And that would be, do you get nerd ragey with Robotech?
Yes. Do you get angry when people come across Robotech?
I got to know, because it's like one of the few things out there where that actually happens. Like, they go from being completely calm to mere boiling rage at the mere word.
And so, with that, thank you all for listening, and until next time, Fearless Gamers, this is Matt the Vet.
James the Wildcard.
Saying Robotech.
Transform and roll out.
Bye.